Hi and welcome back to the channel. It's true, my name is Norf, and it's time now for you to present. You've prepared your content, you know exactly who's in the room, but something's a bit different. You need to present now to an audience that's in the room as well as some that are online. Wait a minute, you mean I have to present simultaneously to an audience that's in the room as well as others that are online? That means I have to focus on those that are in the room and those that I have to focus on online. Hey, that's a whole different skill set, a completely different level of audience engagement. Well, whilst Norf is in a little bit of a tailspin, in our ever-changing world, how do you offer both your in-person audience and your delegates online the same great engaging experience without losing your mind? It's called hybrid presenting, and I dare say it's not as easy as it looks, and it's a bit of a challenge to do all of that on your own. However, in this Phygital skills video, you happen to be just in the right place to explore the answers to those questions. So, as is customary on the channel, strap yourselves in and let's get started. Welcome to the third video in this mini-series I've called Phygital Skills, a careful and sumptuous blend of the two words physical and digital, focused on how to best use our physical presentation skills in our online world. In this video, I'm going to share my 5 top tips you'll need for presenting in a hybrid world, and some of the best techniques I use to help keep your physical and virtual audience both engaged. Links to the previous 2 videos and what I specifically use I'll leave in the description below. First, a shout out to my buddy Winston for his curiosity and inspiration for this video. The concept of presenting in a hybrid world is fast becoming the norm, and it can be pretty tricky as there is much that you need to be aware of and to do to keep your audience engaged both physically, the ones that you can see and glean from their entire non-verbal communication body language, and virtually the ones that you can only see their face and at best, a medium close-up. Fundamentally, as the presenter, your role has changed and changed forever thanks to the global events of 2020. In order to keep your audience and delegates or your teams engaged, you'll find that you're not just a presenter. You're a facilitator, producer, technical director, and broadcast host. It goes without saying you've got to make sure that you've checked off the fundamental principles of presenting, so things like knowing your content, getting an idea of the setup and the venue, practicing and refining your content before you go live, knowing who's in the audience, yada yada yada. When you're in your hybrid presentation environment and you've begun your delivery, firstly, acknowledge the difference between the two audiences. This gives you a unique opportunity to bring them both into the conversation. During your introduction, at some point, articulate your intention to serve both audiences and deliver your presentation to suit each. Set out your stall clearly and nice and early and stick to it. Be sure to weave in your online engagement vernacular into your messaging. If you're like me and have stated that your delivery is going to be interactive, expect this from both delegates, the ones in the room and the ones online. Seek the opinions of the virtual participants and hear what they have to say. Make it super easy for those online to have opportunities to ask questions. Dependent on your situation, you may want to think about arranging a direct contact between you and your online audience through Teams, through Zoom, Google Meets, LinkedIn, whatever platform you choose to use. Or if your delegates are part of the same company, you could ask one of the organizers if they could be the central DM point for your questions. DM meaning direct messages. Make sure to obviously call out who's asked the question first. I tend to stick with first names. I repeat the question for everyone's benefit, then proceed to answering the question. Secretly, this gives you time to think about the answer to that question. If you read out their name first, then you read out the question. Secondly, use your languages wisely. What do I mean by using your languages? Plural. This is both your body language and your spoken words. If you know you have native speakers of your mother language in the room and online, chances are they'll be able to keep up with the speed of your delivery. However, if you don't know this for sure, make sure that you make a conscious effort to slow your speech down. I know that nerves may rear their ugly faces at times that we least expect. However, intentionally rein them in and slow your speech down. Also leave a little bit of time between sentences for your audience in the room and online to catch up with where you are. This also gives you time to think about where you're going to take your delegates next. The second point about your language is body language, and this is where technology will play a critical role. Your online audience will need to see and hear what's going on in the room, so a camera and a roaming mic will be essential to maintain online audience engagement during your delivery and when it comes to Q&A. Be intentional about the movements that you make. Rocking from side to side or moving backwards and forwards will cause nausea, dizziness, and gnashing of teeth for your online contingent. Definitely one to avoid. Thirdly, if you're anything like me and you've stated that your delivery is going to be interactive, expect this from your delegates both in the room and also online. Ask and state a simple why you require interactivity. For me, I would say something like, this session is going to be interactive because I want you to get the most out of our time together. If you so need, pepper in a little bit of humor if you haven't got what you've asked for. For example, if no one is being interactive, you could say, remember we talked about interactivity at the beginning? Have you forgotten already? You're kidding me. Another way to get interactivity is to ask open or wide open questions. And those open questions, of course, will start with what, where, why, when, and how. Fourthly, deliver your presentation with a massive KISS. KISS in this instant means keep it super short. You most likely will have experienced presentations where the presenter goes on and on and on and on, and you think to yourself, goodness me, I'm never going to get that time back, am I? Keep this in mind when you're delivering your message to your hybrid audience. Those in person will feel connected because they're physically co-located with you in the room together. However, keep your online audience in mind. We all know attention spans are super short, sub 8 seconds, some reports say. Couple that with insert your online platform of choice fatigue, which is a thing. As the presenter, a delicate balance needs to be drawn between giving your audience enough information to become curious and to form their own opinions, but not overloading them with too much. And that will obviously push them down a path to become disengaged, and that is certainly what you want to avoid. You may have also heard the phrase when speaking with C-level company executives, be brief, be bright, and be gone. Sprinkle a little bit of that concept into your delivery. Keep it super impactful. Keep it super short. Give an opportunity for that executive, or in this case, your audience, to ask questions live from in the room and also in the chat, just like we mentioned in point number 3 earlier. Fifthly, be sure to share the wealth. If you can and where appropriate, plan to share both the recording of your presentation and a sanitized version of the slides that you're using if you're using slides. This will mean that your delegates have a reference to go back to and gives an opportunity for you to continue the conversation after your presentation. A bonus tip and a pro touch is to add your LinkedIn QR code to your end slide. And LinkedIn has made it super easy for people to connect with you to continue that conversation. The simplest way to do this is to go to the LinkedIn app on your smartphone or tablet of choice, go to the search bar, and tucked off to the right, you'll see a little QR code icon. Tap that, and from there you can save it into your gallery and integrate it into your presentation. You could also save that to your smartphone and set it as a temporary wallpaper as well. Should you be having post-presentation conversations, that means it's nice and easy to find so people can connect with you. And that's it for this week's Phygital Skills video. We explored the upfront acknowledgement of the hybrid environment, people in the room and online, and we want to make sure that the experience is as good as possible for both of those audiences. We looked at the languages that you'll be using, both spoken and non-verbal, setting the expectation of interactivity again up front, remembering to deliver your presentation with a massive kiss, keeping it super short, and sharing the wealth, post-presentation sharing of your content, and allowing your audience to connect with you keeps that conversation going. I'm curious, let me know in the comments, what are your approaches, what are your best practices? Have you found yourself in a hybrid presentation situation? What did you do to keep both of your audiences engaged? Let me know in the comments. Let me know too if you're well versed in the art of hybrid presenting. Whilst you're leaving me a comment, you may know that I'm a massive fan of the number 3. So if you would, please do 3 things for me. If you like the content, please do give me a thumbs up. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on the next exciting, jam-packed installment of our Phygital Skills video series. Again, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time here, and I'll see you in the next one.